Okay, so, okay, I'm in the right one now. Yeah, I know I have hair. I shaved and, okay.
Hi, Peter.
Yeah, hello.
Hi, Beth.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Gord, where's your scotch?
Where's my what?
Scotch. I thought you were having some the other night.
I was doing the what now?
You were having scotch the other night.
Yes.
Are you still having some tonight?
Am I still having scotch? No, I took a break between last night and tonight, but I was thinking about going to get some ice.
Sounds good. There you go. Oh, all right. Well, it looks empty. You can't tell from your screen in the back.
Would you
You
like to
guys
come over?
You know, yeah, it's virtual scotch. I told you it's cheaper for you. It
Well,
costs
we're always.
Now we're talking. Is everyone invited, Gord?
Good evening, everyone.
I know that we're always welcome at John. Whenever I've just happened to drop in at John Burns's house, I've always been welcome, and I've always been welcome with a glass of scotch.
Ah,
That's very
What-
true.
What's John's,
happened
what's
on more
John's
than one occasion.
address?
so party at John's house.
You're not getting to know it, Beth.
He lives in a
I
gated
can look it
community.
up,
and
but
he
don't
codes.
worry, I can look it up on Club Runner.
I know.
And it may be a gated community, but the funeral director has her own pass.
Oh.
Uh-huh. Yes, indeed.
Why is that, Amy?
Hang out with
What?
Amy.
Why would you
Yeah,
have
I
a
could-
pastor there?
Technically, because we were there twice today.
Wow. It's a lot of
That's-
scotch.
That's not good news, Amy.
Well, depends on the side you're looking at it. If it's a business, it's not bad news.
Hi, how are you?
Oh dear.
From Toronto, Danforth.
So Ron, how many do we have in the waiting room?
We don't have anyone in the waiting room and we have 45 on the call so far.
Perfect. So let's get started because it's 7 o'clock.
Greens, good evening to you.
Good evening, everybody. So you want to pull up the PowerPoint, please?
Shall do.
Thank you. Perfect. Okay, so welcome everybody. Thanks for coming back. This is week 2. And before we go to that slide, I want to just do a quick agenda review. The next slide. There
Sorry.
we go. One back. There we go. Okay, so we're going to do tonight we're going to focus on a couple of things. In particular, we're going to focus on the year ahead. And Ron has quite a few things to share. He's just been at the International Assembly, which is the last training opportunity for incoming governors, so district governor-elects. So he has lots of good information to share with us tonight about that and some other things that are important to him as we move into the readiness stage for the beginning of the new Rotary year. He's also going to talk about the 2022 district conference, and this will be this is going to be a very interesting presentation because it's going to be a significant change from what we've done in the past with respect to the timing, but I won't steal his thunder. I'm going to let him give you more details. And then Iosif is going to spend quite a bit of time tonight, about 50 minutes, on online tools to support presidents. And then we will wrap up with an opportunity for questions and answers. And then I will introduce our session for next week and add in a request that one of the presenting teams asked you to bring with them to the presentation next week. So first of all, I want to thank you for the input from last week when we did the breakout rooms and we asked you the 2 questions. Is there, have we scheduled things that you're going to need? Have we not scheduled things that you're going to need? And you gave us some really, some great feedback. I did receive feedback from 3 of the 5 groups. So that's good. If the other 2 groups still have their feedback and would like to forward it to me, I'll add it to my consolidated list. So
You're on mute, Beth.
So have you heard nothing about what I've said?
No, I just hit the key a second ago when I was admitting people by mistake.
Okay, so what's the last thing you heard?
It was only off for about 5 seconds.
Okay, all right. So thanks for your input from last week. For the most part, I would say we're going to cover all the topics. We're either going to cover the topics that you say you want some help with, either through the regional meeting structure that will begin in July, or sessions that we have planned for you for the continuation of the President-elect training seminars. But if other things come up as we are working through these sessions, please don't hesitate to email them to me and I'll make sure that I add them to the consolidated list. The next slide, please, Ron. So Peter, your group, Peter Hernandez, your group last week asked for some help with Robert's rules. So I've just added a screenshot here that something I found on Amazon, I think. I have used Robert's rules when I was chair of our hospital board, and I'll have to tell you, it's quite a bit of a document to make your way through. But this one might meet people's needs because it's simplified and the applied version. So I share it with you. If it's something that you want to invest in, by all means, carry on. Next slide, please. And then one of the things, yes?
I was just going to say, and I thought it interesting, just the same way that you asked me to lead a Tuesday talk session on Toastmasters, maybe there's also a way to interject a speaker or an expert on Robert's rules to one day lead a Tuesday talk.
Perfect. We'll keep that in mind. We're always looking for topics starting in July. We're pretty much organized now for the rest of this Rotary year, but thank you, Peter, for that suggestion. One of the other things people said is, how do we get access to the sessions if we have, if we've missed it or we want to go back and review it? So Sue Miller is putting each of the PET sessions up on YouTube. So this particular link will get you to last week's session. So if you are interested in that, make sure you jot it down. With respect to how to elevate people into district positions, there is a section on the District 7070 website for leadership opportunities. And I'll give you 3 examples right now of we're looking for district people to signal that they're interested in working at the district level. We're certainly looking for people to be members of the Rotary Foundation Committee, the membership committee, and we're looking for a district secretary. So I think in part, I think we're in good shape in terms of addressing your needs. But as I say, if anything else comes up that you think like, oh my gosh, they should know about this, this is something I need, please, by all means, forward it to me and we'll do our best to incorporate them into a future session. Okay, so with that in mind, I'm going to turn it over to District Governor-elect Ron Dick.
Thanks, Beth. It's been a busy couple of weeks. We've been in the International Assembly since February 1st. That means I start my day at 9 o'clock. Well, my day starts earlier than that, but I start at 9 o'clock with at least a 1-hour session, and the last one will be tomorrow. So we're still in sort of the middle of it. They alternate between having a presentation one day and then having a group discussion the next day with about 15 other district governor-elects from around the world. So I've had people from India, Uganda, the Caribbean, the USA, of course, South America, in my different groups, talking about different aspects of Rotary in the coming year. But when you look at the year ahead, you look at our vision statement to underpin that. I'm just going to move my thing out of the way a little bit. Together, we see a world where people unite to take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves.
To help the community in some way, like we have that. We just never promoted. That's called Planet Clarington, right? And if we
I think you need to mute everybody.
Okay. I need to know how to do that. There never was a year more than this one where that Rotary vision statement rings true, and one that'll equip us as we go into next year. So in our virtual International Assembly, I had a chance to get warm and cozy with Shaker and his wife in the photo booth. And it's been a long week. It's been busy. As Beth and the other past district governors know, normally they'd pack you into San Diego or Orlando from Sunday to Sunday, and you barely have a minute to yourself. So this has certainly been a little more leisurely than that would have been, but just as many hours when you add them up over the 11 days. The first thing we learned is what's our theme going to be and what's the logo going to look like. Many of you have already seen it. And here it is: serve to change lives. And again, when you think of our Rotary vision statement and you think of what we're dealing with right now, serve to change lives is very appropriate. Now, Shaker also referred to us as his change maker district governors. I don't know, I've been in Rotary a long time, and that word change seems to be there every year, but probably never more than this year with everything we're dealing with and everything we're going to have to deal with going into next year. So that makes you the change maker presidents. Now, in his message to us, they really drilled into 3 areas as it relates to our district. The first one is service. Shaker is big on service, and he talked a lot about the projects that he worked on in India from the time he started Rotary till recently. And the one quote that he likes to use, and I heard it a few times, is service is our rent we pay for our space on this earth. And that's very true. Again, this year more than ever. There's 2 initiatives that they're pushing out this year in response to trying to elevate our game in service. And don't get me wrong, we all do a great job. This isn't saying that we're not, but there's an opportunity here for us to go shoulder to shoulder and do a better job in our public relations in telling the world what we're doing. The first is a 7 2-day presidential conferences based on the areas of focus. These will be held all over the world. We do not know the locations as yet. He just said there's going to be 7. Obviously, they're going to be virtual. I don't know if they'll be face-to-face at all, but watch for this because there will be one for us to be able to attend and participate in. The second major initiative is the Rotary Days of Service. And I've given you the front snapshot of the front page of the brochure. I will send you all out the brochure as soon as I get it in PDF. Now, in talking to my fellow district governor-elects, it was interesting to find out that Rotary Days of Service is something that already goes on in some other parts of the world. And as I said before, don't get me wrong, Rotary Days of Service is alive and well in our district in many things that we do, and even many things that we've done in during the pandemic. Now, this is the inside couple of pages of the brochure. Shaker is asking us to do one Rotary Day of Service this year sometime. The watershed Great Lakes cleanup would be a great practice run for a day of service that we might be able to do later in the year. Now, there's a couple of things that you need to do to be recognized for a day of service as a district. And if you look at the right side of the screen in the column, it lists those. So planned by 2 or more Rotary, Rotaract, or Interact clubs, either in country or internationally. Align with 1 or more of the Rotary areas of focus. And now that the environment's been added as an area of focus, that's pretty broad. Be promoted using social media, Facebook, Twitter, local newspaper. We already do a pretty good job of this right across our district. That's not really new. The last one's the one that's going to require us to think about this a little bit. Attract a group of participants in which 25% are not current Rotary members. That's really the challenge to this. Think of the opportunities for new members in your club. Think of opportunities for great PR and Friends of Rotary around our district in looking at bringing 25% of the participation from non-Rotary members. And just to go back over it, the 7 avenues of service, or sorry, the 7 areas of focus are basic education and literacy, maternal and child health, peace and conflict prevention, resolution, disease prevention and treatment, water hygiene, water sanitation and hygiene, community and economic development, and support the environment. And Richard Mawhinney, the incoming president for the Newmarket Rotary Club, is here on our call today, and he's the chair of the area focus committees that meet on a regular basis, work on bringing projects forward, and work on the grants that would be related to them. Now, I know it'll surprise you, but we actually talked about membership growth. They talked about it from the perspective of expand our reach. And Shaker has a phrase, each one bring one. We're 1.2 million Rotarians. That has not changed in 17 years. We bring in 120,000 new Rotarians every year. We lose 120,000 Rotarians every year. And wouldn't it be good if we're able to keep more of those Rotarians that we work so hard to introduce to our clubs in our clubs? And if we keep them in our club, we grow more to do more. So the 2 challenges that were handed to all the district governors elect were to be 1.3 million Rotarians by July 1st, 2022. In other words, add another 100,000 Rotarians and keep them. The other challenge handed to us was form at least 2 new Rotary clubs in 2021-2022 Rotary year. We've already got a start. The current membership committee has worked hard on this, and we already have the start of interest in both Stouffville and Vaughan. So let's pick it up. Let's get some fresh ideas. Let's figure it out, and let's bring 2 new Rotary clubs into our district in the 21-22 Rotary year, or sooner if you'd like. Last but not least, they talked about the foundation. Our Oshawa Rotary Club had the benefit of having John Germ visit us as our guest speaker last Monday, and I heard a lot of these things a second time. But this year, the Rotary Foundation has 3 priorities. The first is to end polio. Second is to increase contributions to the annual and Polio Plus funds and build the endowment fund. The third is to improve the measurable impact of our grants. And John Germ stressed it's not about the money, but what the money can do. So when you translate those three priorities into numbers in 2021-22, the goal they've set is $410 million. 150 million for polio, 50 million from the clubs, and 100 million from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. 125 million for the annual fund, 95 million for the endowment fund, and 40 million for outright gifts. The endowment fund, the objective they're looking for 2025 is 2.025 billion. You know, it amazes me that we do not have more benefactors in our district. It's the one freebie, easy thing to do. And yet I only see 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 in a club. Half the club should be there. A benefactor is simply making a statement, a piece of paper to Rotary saying you've put $1,000 US in your will or in your estate to go to Rotary. This can be a free codicil to your will. This can be changing the beneficiary on an existing life insurance policy to give 5% or whatever it is of your policy to Rotary. Now you want to check your family obligations, your business obligations before you do it. But most of us have had policies there for a while, dividends have built up, and there's room to be able to give $1,000 US to Rotary in our estate. You do that, you become a benefactor, you get your wings. Those are those little things that hang off the Rotary pin that you see with some people. It's such an easy thing to do in our clubs, but it's so important for the future generations of Rotary.
Excuse me. Sorry to interrupt. Can I ask you, is that $100 million for the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, is that another $100 million, or is that the original $100 million that they committed to us?
That's another 100 million for next year.
Okay.
So what John Germ has asked us for specifically is he's asked the district to allocate 20% of the district designated to fund a polio. I believe we've traditionally done that in the past, and we would continue to do that. He's asked each of the clubs to make sure they donate a minimum of $1,500 to polio in their foundation givings. I know many of you have that in your plans, but if you could think of that specifically, of 15, you still want to have your annual fund contributions for your Paul Harris credit, and remember, when that money that goes into the annual fund comes back to us 3 years from now for our district designated projects, and it comes back to us in the World Fund on our global grants. So for 3 years from now, that's an important number. Okay, so that's sort of an update of what I have so far from the International Assembly. There's a final session tomorrow, so there might be more to report in the future. But for now, if you could sort of keep those things in mind as you're setting your goals for this year. Training Director Beth asked us to talk about the 2022 district conference. We normally would not talk about the 2022 district conference until the current district conference was underway. So this is the only time you're going to hear this before June. Normally the conference would have been held in the fall. We'd be talking now about the next one. But because of the pandemic and Mark's team has done unbelievable hours and amounts of work to be able to bring forward the plans for the district conference. And they've now got it locked down for a virtual conference and some club activities for the end of June. And there'll be, I don't know if the information's gotten out yet. I don't believe it is, but you will be hearing very shortly about more specifics for that. But please keep that last Saturday in June open because Mark's got a big show in mind for you. Having said that, we had to wait until Mark had and his team had decided on our district conference for this Rotary year. But we've saved the dates March 13th, 14th, and 15th in 2022. For the Courtyard Marriott Hotel in Oshawa, the theme of the conference is going to be Tour to Rotary. For those of you that don't know, Karen and I are volunteer fitness instructors at our local Y, and we both run CycleFit classes, and we both like to ride our road bikes up and down the lakefront trail. So cycling was sort of a thing for us. We've got some inquiries out for our keynote speaker. We haven't heard confirmations back as yet. So I really can't say any more about the conference other than asking you to keep those dates locked up. Might be the first time we're able to get back together face to face on a large scale basis. So, we want to have a great social night on Friday. We want to knock your socks off with some great motivational and content speakers on the Saturday, and probably continue into Sunday morning. So as we have more, and as we get into June with the current district conference, we'll tell you more. So past District Governor Beth, I think that's it for my part of the agenda.
Okay, so just mark your calendars for those dates in May of 2022. As we move through the next presentation, and I think for all presentations moving forward, if you have a question, would you please put it in the chat box, and one of us will monitor the questions, and that way the presenter can make their presentation in full and not be interrupted with questions. So now I'm going to turn it over to Iosif, so District Governor nominee, Iosif Ciosa from the Rotary Club of Etobicoke. And Iosif is going to talk about online tools that you are going to need next year. So over to you, Iosif.
Hi, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to PETS 2. Tonight, I'm going to talk about online tools that you will be using or you should be using next year as president. I'm going to touch upon three parts: Club Runner, Rotary 7070 website, and my Rotary. I will start with Club Runner because most of the clubs are using Club Runner, and you're probably more familiar with that than anything else. Also, that's where you register all your members, there where you communicate with your members, with your community. That's where you keep all your information as a club. The other part is you got to make sure that when you update anything in Club Runner, or with Rotary International, you update in Club Runner, and then from there it moves up. So when you have a new executive, when you have a new member, enter it in Club Runner and it populates up. I know people have entered it in My Rotary, but it doesn't get captured in Club Runner. So please make a note, always enter in Club Runner first, and then you can do it somewhere else if you need to.
Iosif, you're now the host.
Thank you. And a few things about Club Runner before we start is there's a Club Runner app, and if you haven't downloaded it yet, please do. It has in it all the contacts in our district of everybody. Every member's on there. So it's on Google Play and the App Store. Just go and download it. It'll be on your phone. I have it on my phone, so if I need to look for somebody, I can just go to their club, look at the membership, and I can find them. I can find their president. So everybody can do that. And I hope you already have downloaded that and you use that. So when it comes to Club Runner today, what I want to talk is about 4 different things. I want to go through updating your executive or director list, how to set up an executive communication group, create your first board meeting. So this is something that it's quite interesting because I'm going to encourage you to do that for the rest of the year, and communicating with your executive by email. So this will help you with all other things that you need to do on the Club Runner app. So let's start with, if you guys, I can share my website here. And I'm going to use, I'm from Rotary Club of Etobicoke. I'm going to use the Rotary Club of Etobicoke website. And I'm going to walk you through Club Runner there. So let me sign in. So this is our website, and you guys all know how to sign in, member login. And by the way, tomorrow between 9 and 11, you can use this. You guys have all been given a username and password when you got logged into Club Runner at one point or another, and the 1133 is my Club Runner or my club's code my club number. Okay, so now let's go to how do we create a your executive. So we click on member area. This will take us to the back end. So once we sign in, as you notice, is you have your name, member area, and logout. Now this it's a little bit slow right now, so please bear with me as we move along with this. But then we can see the pictures from our hands-on projects. Rotary Etobicoke was done over a little while. Goes back a long way. Okay. Still experiencing some technical difficulties as we go through this, so hang on a sec. For some reason, it's not loading. Oh, there we go. So this is, you will all come to this back end and you get to see everything that's happening there. Now, as a club president, you need to have an access level of 40. And I think your club executive or club website manager will have to give that to you if you don't have it. As a regular member, you probably have it of 70, but as a president, it'll give you a 40, which gives you access to the whole back end. The only thing that it doesn't allow you to do is change the website. Otherwise, everything else you can do there. So once we go here, now we're trying to change the or update our executive and director list. So click on organization. As soon as we click on that, we get executive, committees, views, billing, documents, and whatnot. Click on executives and directors. This will take us to this year. So the club executive and directors of this year, 2020, 2021. And as we can look here, we have our list of Rotary Etobicoke, our president, our incoming president, Sharon, she's with us tonight, Ron Miller, and whatnot. Now, for next year, you got to click on next year. And in some clubs, your secretary may have done this already. So let's wait till this moves on to the next year. I'm not sure why it's so slow. Let's give it another second. I think we should ask him to put elevator music when this happens.
I've been told in the past that if everybody on the call stops their video so that we don't see them anymore, that helps to speed up the processing on Zoom. Like if we all turn our video off and just leave the host on visually.
Okay. I wonder this
I expect the slowdown may be in Club Runner itself. That's been my experience, but I will turn off my video.
Okay, thanks, Bruce. Yeah, it seems to have gone over. So here we are at the 21-22 year. So this is what we have. Ron in our club, the secretary, has already populated it, but I'm going to show you how to add another position. So if you don't have this in your website, you can add a name, you can add a title and a position in your website. So I'm going to show you how to do one. So I'm going to add a new position. So the position that I'm going to add this year is going to be Executive Secretary, the title is. And I think Iosif is probably a good candidate for that. So let me save Iosif as a new candidate for that. So once we've done that, we can look down and suddenly, hey, here we go. Iosif is added to our list of executive and directors of our club. So now let's go back. I'm going to go back quickly to the home page because I'm going to show you how to create a mailing list for your executive. So now we're going to go back here, contacts, manage groups. And as you notice with Rotary Etobicoke, we have a bunch of groups already set up from time before. So if you look, we have the Beaujolais, the 2019 Rib Fest. We already have a board members group set up. The bulletin subscribers, Friends of Rotary. I'm going to come back, talk a little bit about that a little bit later. Please remind me of the Friends of Rotary and sponsors, volunteers, and whatnot. So let's add a new group, contact group. So what are we going to call these groups? So I'm going to call it the 21, 20, 22 test board. Now you can put a description here. Is you can just put the Rotary Etobicoke. Board. Let's give it a color. So what we have here now, if we save that, we have created a brand new group, and in this group we have no members at this point, and it's color orange. Now, how do we populate this group? So you can do it two different ways. I'm going to do the simpler way. So you can assign from the contacts to see this group. So in Rotary Etobicoke, we have 340 contacts in our database. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up to 100. So I'm just going to pick, for example, a bunch of people that I'm going to add to our group. So I don't know who else I'm going to add. I can go over one page, and that's that. So once we've done, just click Save, and our test group has 6 members in it. So right now we've created a mailing group that we can send directly. Now the upside of all these kind of creating these groups is that when you send the email out and somebody replies back to it, they cannot reply all. And I know you probably have received some of those emails where, reply all, and it's good to kind of guard against that when you set up a mailing group. Now, what I want to do is I want to go and create the first board meeting. So show you how to create your first event. So let's go to Home and click on Member Area. We scroll down and we come to Events and Volunteering. So let's go to Event Planner. And in our case here, we don't have any upcoming events. So let's create a new event. So what is going to be our new event? Our new event is going to be our first board meeting of the year, and I'm going to call it the July board meeting. What the type of event it is, it's going to show a different color has a type, so board meeting event. When are we going to have this? So most of you guys already have your board meeting set up probably on the first Wednesday of the month, or third week of the month. My suggestion is, if you already know, go ahead and populate your whole year. I know you have to do it month by month, but place it in now, because it's going to make your life easier when once you're up and running in July. So go to July, and let's pick the third Monday, and it populates it, and I don't know, 7 o'clock p.m. And because it's the first one, it's probably going to go on for 2 hours, and that's what we have there. So now a description of the event. So it's to be the first meeting 2021, 2022. Now this is open. You can put whatever description you would like here, and populate it. You can add more information there if you like. as you move along here, you'll find you don't need to have a registration for this because it's a one-way communication in this case. Who's the event chair? Since I created this, you as a president create this, you will be automatically the event chair. You do have the option in different circumstances to change that. Or if somebody else does it for you, you can always, they can, if I'm going to do it for Ron, for example, not that Ron is in my club, but I could name him as a chair. Right now, we're not meeting in person, but in the future, when you meet in person, you populate the location, the address, the city, all that information there, because it will give you a map as well. And as you go down, it says, do you want this event to be to show in the homepage? Yes, you do. Do you want to show in the calendar? Yes, absolutely. Do you want to show in the event list? Yes. You want to show in the bulletin? Yes, because once you populate it for the year, you want to make sure that people know when this is happening. You want to have social media? Absolutely. Now, do you want to have this event showing in the district calendar? No. The reason for that is if you have an event that you want other clubs to take part in, or you want the district to know, then by clicking yes, it will populate the district calendar as well. So my suggestion is, unless there's something important, not that a board meeting is not important, but if it's something that it's noteworthy for the district, then click it on and the district and it's get populated there. I'll show you that a little bit later. And do you want it to show the map? Yes, especially when you do something that is it's a physical location. And we save it. So if we look here now, we do have, so it's a board meeting event. It's the first board meeting of 2021. You can add details over time. Do we need a registration? No, we don't. Do we need to sign out? No, we don't. And is the cost anything? No. And that's it. Now, what I wanted to show you, the next step is how do you communicate? How do you send this email out? So I'm just going to go back to homepage. And again, to member login. You could have done it exactly from where you were, but I wanted to go the longer way here. We can go to event planner. So here we go. We got the event, July 19th, July board meeting. So what I've done in the past, which I thought it worked, is I called them by month. So it says July board meeting, August, September, I went through all the way. And I populated this before the year started, just to make it easier for me once the year started. And you can do that with your current board as you move through it, or your board that's going to join you. Plus, encourage all your different committees to be part of it. So let's open it. We can see what we had actually before. But if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, is you can add an invite or send an email. So I'm going to send an email, and I'm going to show you who we send the email to. So I don't know. Most of you probably know this already. So as soon as you get to the email section here, on step 1, you can select the recipients to receive this email, and only them. So the first thing that I have here, for example, is active and honorary members of Rotary Etobicoke. So if you click on the plus here, you get that we have 58 active members and 6 honorary members. What do we want to send to all those? No, we don't. Who do we want to send to? So we want to send to the new contact group. So if you click on contact, the last one, we have, it's right here, 21, 22, test board, and there's 6 members in that. There's 6 members in that group. So let's click on that. So now this email would only go to them. It doesn't go to anybody else. It will just go to those people that we have there. In step 2 here, what we get to see is the system populates the event name here. So event for July board meeting, I usually take this out because you'll see a little bit later, once we send the email out, how it's going to appear. So templates to merge a field, so select a group, we don't have to worry about that. A recipient title, it's automatically populated as your first and last name here. So that's already there. If you want to add the sender, you can go under thank you here, and you can click add sender, and it will send my name at the bottom, and you'll see that a little bit later. Now, when we get here, is a message that we want to convey to our club at that time. So our first board meeting is next week. Please send in your reports to our secretary by Friday. The other thing you include here now is you can include the Zoom link. So especially now, we can add the Zoom link in here so they know where this meeting is happening. Obviously, when we're going to eventually meet in person, you will have the address there. So this is what we have. You can add more information there. Now, as a chair or the president, you can also upload files here. So my suggestion is here, if you have an agenda for the board meeting, click on it and you can add it here. So you select it, you'll go to your system in the back, and you can attach it from there, and it gets sent to everybody. Do you want to send a list of the recipient? It's not important. You want to be copied on a minute? No, you don't have to. Do you want to send this right now? That's important, because if you want to send it right now, it gets sent right away to the people we clicked on. But my suggestion first is send it to yourself before we go further. So send it to yourself and as a test email, because the reason for that is sometimes I know, I speak from experience, sometimes I make mistakes in spelling, or I write some gibberish, and I have to see it to realize what it is. So let's go quickly now to my email. So if you see what happened is, hey, Joseph, send me an email that a July board meeting is coming. So here we go. I open this up, and this is what the recipient gets. If you notice, is it's only sent to me, even though we have 5 others, or you can have 100 others, but I cannot reply all. I can only reply to Joseph. I cannot reply to anybody else. Okay, so now that we've done that, we can go back, because it just takes us back to that. Then you can just send it, and he sends it automatically to everybody. So you send it, and he tells you send emails to 5. So you have to okay it as a fail-safe to make sure that you want to send this, and you know who you want to send it to. And he said, do you want to send it to this 5 recipients? Yes or no? Okay, yes. No, I'm going to cancel. Now, if you want to schedule it, and this is usually you use it, I've used it in the past, especially when I reminded people of the Zoom link, and that happens on the day of an event or board meeting. You can send another email with just the Zoom link, for example, or you can just resend this email another time. So what are we going to do? So let's look over here. So how we can do that? So we look at July, and our meeting's on the 19th. So I want to send this email, even I'm constructing it today, I want to send it out on July 12th. What time I want to send it? I want to send it 9 in the morning. And as soon as you send it, it's going to be scheduled to be sent that morning to everybody in your to all your recipients. So you can send it anywhere you want through here. Okay. So this is back. So now we've talked basically about the 4 parts. So let me go back here to home. And this is the 4 parts that I've spoken about when it comes to how to use our Club Runner. And this will help you, I think, with scheduling creating your groups, creating your committees, communicating with them, being able to keep track of the because there's this keeps track of all the emails as well. So when you go back to that, you'll find the emails that have been created. They sit there, so you can always go back to that. There's one more part that I wanted to add to this, is that that we should have. I mean, we had a Friends of Rotary group. Michael Caruso a couple of weeks ago spoke about that, and the reason for having that creating this group of Friends of Rotary is, as we do events, as we have hands-on projects and whatnot, we run across a whole bunch of people that have contact with our club. And hopefully they like us. So we can ask them for their information to create this list that we can send to them as we have special events in the future. I'll give you an example. Years past, I have did an event at the National Club. And I always kept a bottle of wine on the side and I asked everybody for business cards. And I said, listen, at the end of the event, I will do a draw and you get a bottle of wine. But the aim was to get their business cards and enter them in a database. This way, by having them in a database now, I can contact them in the future and tell them about events like this, which they're looking forward to. But also, it becomes a base for, you can draw some membership over time. And it was successful. We were able to get some members from there. So, and Michael Caruso was, when he spoke a couple of weeks ago, he mentioned that you need to have this Friends of Rotary to be about 10 times the size of your club. So if your club is 30 members, you should have a mailing list of about 300 people. And you should scrub this. Make sure that this is all updated. This doesn't happen overnight. It would take some time for this to happen. But make sure you update it and you keep these people involved. Don't bombard them with emails continuously, but just make sure they have it. A second part that I wanted to speak about this is if we're looking here, you can see the Russell Hampton Co. here, the quality lapel pin. This is where we get all our Russell Hampton. We get all our Rotary swag. That's where we buy our T-shirts, our pins, and everything else. But this is we can use this area here to generate money for our club. This is we can look for sponsors. I've done this in the past where we were able to get sponsors from the either from membership or from people in the community. So basically, it's because the sponsorship is for a year. By having your logo and your link back to your website, and it stays on for a full calendar year, I charge them $150. So usually we had 4, pay $600, so your website is free. For smaller clubs, it's a lot of money. For some of the larger clubs, it isn't. But it's a way to monetize and pay for your website in the future, and it doesn't cost you very much. Usually, this is a tax write-off, so it's definitely it's a business expense for the business that puts their name there, or the agent, or we had real estate agents put their name there and whatnot. We had financial advisors put their name there. So we had a whole variety of people that put their names there. And this helps you with, getting the website basically for free. And that's more money for your operating budget, because usually this comes from your operating budget. So I'm suggesting to kind of go out, look out for these kind of sponsors if you can, and see if that, you can do that. Now, I wanted to go, my next step is to go to the district website, but at this point, if anybody has any questions, I'm willing to take some questions.
Joseph?
Yeah.
During your talk on the chat, Sharon had a point. This is very complicated. Are there written instructions on this?
I created some snippets with where you should click and what you should do, so I can share that. So if anybody wants that, I have that. If not, we can also do another training for anybody else. I had somebody call me earlier today about the certain questions, and they wanted me to go to their club to speak about how to use Club Runner more effectively. So I said yes, but I think we're going to have more questions tonight about that, so we can probably arrange something a little bit different.
Okay, the next one was from Prince Kumar. Does Club Runner give you the ability to send a calendar invite so it can populate members' calendars instead of emails?
No, but what Club Runner offers you, you can download the calendar onto your personal calendar. So if you have a Google Calendar or Outlook or Apple, let me see if I can. Let me see if I can go there and I'll show you quickly. So I'm going to go to calendar here. So if you look at the bottom of the calendar, you have the option to subscribe to this calendar, and then you add the subscription to your Outlook or Google or Apple Calendar. So this allows you to bring it in. Does that, okay? Anything else, John?
Joseph, just one question. Can you make me the co-host? There's some people that have been kicked out and they're trying to get back in.
Hang on. Hang on a second. Okay, so you should be able to do it now.
Thank you.
Okay, while he's doing that, the last point that was made was by Sandy Ramsey. She said, is there a copy of this presentation? Now, I heard Ron make a comment, it's not being recorded, but it is.
Yes.
To see the indication that's being recorded. So just like the first meeting, you will be able to view this one later.
Okay, yeah. So it's recorded, so we can send it. I'll also send you my notes that I have, because what I've done is I've taken skin paste grabs, and then I've made notes around it where you should press and what you should do. Okay, so now let's move on to.
Can I ask a question, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. When you schedule that email for next July to be sent to the members, does it send it to you also?
Yes, you can be copied on it, and you can send it to yourself as well. Yes, so you can copy yourself. And remember when we were going down, you can copy yourself on it, and you get a copy. Now, when you create this email, when you create an event, you can also, when you have registration set up, I didn't show that, but that's for events. You can also be copied on anybody who accepts or declines the event as well. So there's more options available there. I just wanted to kind of simplify it for today because I thought it might be a little bit too confusing if we're going too much. But it has options there. It also has options where you can see who opened the emails, who didn't. And it also has an option that you can, if people who, in an event that they declined or accepted, you can email just the ones that have not. So there is a way the database is broken down. So that's a little bit more in depth. And but I wanted just to kind of give you guys a little bit of an overview before going too deep with the other ones. But if
Joseph.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. For the people that are not used to with Club Runner, there are videos at the end of the application, and they are pretty much self-explanatory. Very easy to use, and everybody can understand. Easy, whatever they want to do.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. So thank you, Renata. Yes, there are those, and the Club Runner staff are great. So if you have any issues, call them up. My suggestion: call them before 9 a.m. Usually they pick up. Anytime after 9, you have to leave a voicemail, my experience. So I usually call them first thing in the morning and I get somebody, and they're very quick to help you with whatever issue you have.
I just want to echo that. The Club Runner online help is great. The staff are great. As I've put in the chat, I'm a semi-retired IT director. I've spent a lot of my life training staff on industry-specific software platforms. Club Runner is just like that in that it works kind of its own way. It doesn't work quite the way Microsoft Office or Google or something does. So it does take some time to learn how Club Runner wants to work. Once you invest that time, I find it's actually a very good and a very useful piece of software. But like anything else that's industry specific, if you were to join a new job or something, it does take a little more time to learn than Word or Excel.
Yes. Yeah.
Did everybody notice that when everything else has failed, contact Bob Wallace?
Yeah, is Bob, by the way, is Bob on here? He's supposed to be here tonight.
I'm
I'm on, Yosef. I got bounced a little bit, and like I said in the chat room, I'm available one-on-one to do any teaching, training, questions, anything you want to do with regard to Club Runner or My Rotary. So my message is please, please, please don't get frustrated. Call me.
Yeah, it just takes you a bit of time to get used to it. And if or call Bob. That's the other thing. Just call Bob. Bob is great. Thank you, Bob. Okay, so now I think what I'm going to go next is I'm going to look a little bit at our Rotary 7070 website, and okay, sure. So this is our Rotary 7070 website. I think every one of you have been here at least once, if not more. This is where you find all the info you want about District 7070. Anything you want to do, it might take you some time to find it because there's a lot of information here. But this is a comprehensive website with everything about our district. So I'm just going to click on the About Rotary and District 7070. And it's what is Rotary, what is the Rotary video. You can take these things, by the way, and use on your own website. The District 707 chart for 2020, 2021. The new one is going to be populated, obviously, as of July. And then we're getting at 21, 22. Right now, it's the one existing. The existing governors is here as well. Get more membership. The strategic plan is here. History of the district, your insurance, whatnot. A bunch of things are here. Now I'm going to go down the left side here first. So this is a three-part website or three-window website, and is welcoming you to Rotary, our vision, who we are, our causes, our 7 areas of focus, and then probably one of the most important things here is our calendar. So here we get to see the upcoming events, and this is where, if you populated anything on your website when you create an event, it will show up here. So as you scroll down, we have the President training, the RA Live, new member Zoom. So you get all these kind of things here as you go through, and you learn what's happening. And then for the next few months, like 2 or 3 months. However, probably the most important thing that everybody should read, and this, you have a month to read this, by the way, is the district newsletter. Now this comes at the beginning every month, this gives you information about our district, or the clubs in the district, international, what's happening in the Rotary world. So these are different topics. They're linked further down here. So for February, Mark, his message. All right, President Olga Knapp. The message from Ravi, Valerie Wafer, John Burns, congratulations. We have John's there. And we go on. And the other part that's very important here is it talks to us about what's happening if there's special events in the club. And this is where it's important to put special events in here. So for example, Toronto Club had a series of racism between 22nd and 29th or 22nd, 29th, and the 5th of February. So this is something that was great to go and visit. But if not, the links are here. It's Honorable Paul Hillier. He's going to speak on it today. I guess he spoke already. So if anybody listens to him, not, he's probably going to hear it. Probably take. There's Concert to Feed the Need in Durham. New members get together, celebrating women. So there's a lot of information here. Now, if you want to put any of your events in here, please make sure to send this to Dave Andrews 4 days before the end of the month. And if you do that, Dave will post it for you there. So the whole district gets it. Please read it. Encourage your members to read it. It's a great way to learn about what's happening in our district and also learn what worked well in some areas. and maybe get new ideas. It's a great way to learn and duplicate some of the things. I'm going to go on the right side. So here in the middle one is the stories that we have, the homepage stories, which everybody has probably on their website. Right now we have so leadership opportunities for District 7070. So as Ron spoke earlier, there are a number of positions that are coming open. So please check here. The district needs you. The district needs leaders, and in time they will be posted here. And you can click on it and it will take you to see what positions are open and what are the requirements and what you need to. Now, obviously in this part here, we have now marked I think the dates are wrong, by the way, here, but this is the district conference. We get this information here as well. You get the organizational chart with photos, by the way. So you get to see who's everybody. Let's click on it. Mark's different hiding, but then we have everybody else. So Mark, Ron, Larry, Charles is hiding, Linda, Joseph. Anyways, we get to see all that, the district officers. Please visit the website. There's photo albums. There's a note from Ted Morrison when it comes to the foundation. So it's chock full of information. Please come and spend time and read and learn. Any questions on that? Because I think that's my part when it comes to District 7070 district website.
There is one question posted, Iosif.
Okay.
It's from Heather Hebert from Ajax. Is there any way that you can easily take the district event and add it to your club calendar?
Not Bob.
Yeah,
Bob, can I ask you that question?
Bob's answered it already.
Oh, did Bob answer it? Because I'm not sure. And what did Bob say?
He said, no, you can only put club events to district, not the other way.
Yeah, so it's one way only, it's not both ways. The only thing is, I guess, Heather, you can pick it up. You can copy it and enter it into your own, if you want, to put it on your own website. If you see an event that you like, and share it with your club. The other thing, what you can do for events, if you want to share with somebody, is the executives. When we went through who you're going to email your email to or your message to, there's an option that you can email it to the executives of the district. There's about 204 of them right now, and that's the presidents of the clubs, the president-elect, the secretary, the treasurer. So you can send them a message and say, listen, can you share that with your club? We cannot, that's the only way you can communicate with them if you want. Or you can go through the app and target certain ones, pick their email address and send directly to them. Okay? We're good?
Yeah.
We're good? Okay. So my last part, I'm going to talk about my Rotary. So let me share the screen again. So here's my Rotary. You guys have all registered. You know how it works. Anybody can register for my Rotary. You don't have to be a Rotarian. However, you don't have access, the same access as a Rotarian, because once you register, there's some other questions as you go through. And if you're a Rotarian, you get more access to the website. So as you will see, I have a different email address that I use for this to log in, and I'm sure you do as well. And just so now, sometimes this is a little bit buggy. It might take a while to load. I find it because sometimes it works great. Sometimes, see, it takes a little bit of time to load up. But here you find a whole bunch of, here we go. The landing page, when you get to the landing page for you, because this will take you to your own page. It will tell you of what club you're from, where they meet, how many members, who the current president is. If you have a profile, which I do not have one developed, you have your likes or dislikes or anything else, your professional titles and all that. So you can populate that in your profile section. But basically, this is what lands when you sign in, and I think everybody else gets that. So I'm going to go first. I'm going to look at only two parts here. So I'm going to look only at discussion groups and learning and the learning center. I'm going to John at a later date will talk about Rotary Club Central and how to enter goal. So I'm going to leave that out, but for now we're just going to look at two things here. So discussion groups, who are these? These are people or Rotarians who have other interests. So let's find it. Let's see what we have. So you can create your own groups any part of it. So right now, if you look down here, click on that, you can see all kinds of groups. So you've got a Rotary Grants, the group that helps you to get Rotary Grants. They have 1,200 members. International Traveler Hosting Fellowship, they got 1,800 members. You can join any of these groups. And there's tons of them. Alumni, Rotary Brazil. You can go on and find something that you might be interested in. So I don't know, let's say I'm a beer drinker. So let's see if there's any Rotarians who like beer. So you can just enter in there. Oh my God, there we go. So there's 273 members that like beer. So you can find, if you have an interest like that, let's say if you're interested in flying or something, you can find these in my groups, and you can become part of them. And you can have, aside from your Rotary work, now you have a community of people out there that are interested in Rotarians, but are interested in the same kind of things you are. Let's do plastics, for example. Interested in the environment. So let's see what comes up when you enter something like that. International trade commodities. There you go. You got somebody who's actually trading in commodities that is interested. So trading. There's 3 members, and you can look into that. So I hope you get the idea of what this comes when it comes to exchange ideas. So this is a great place where you can connect with others within the whole world of Rotary. It's also broken down. You can go through languages if you have, because I think we've seen some that is there's Chinese, and you can have Portuguese, whatever. There's a number of languages that you can have groups out there that you might be interested in joining, and please take advantage of that and take a look. Now, the other part that I want to talk about here is the Learning Center. So this is where the Rotary has spent quite a bit of resources to develop this. Now, this will take us to a different website where all the courses are. And what we can learn here is either you learn by role, or you can create your own learning or study curriculum. So if you look what I have here, so this is mine. So I'm as I'm getting ready for my role at DG, I was interested in developing. This is with Toastmasters. So we're developing the speech, leadership basing, leading a team, collaboration. These are some of the things that as a DG or DGN, I have to take anyway as I'm getting ready for the role. But my suggestion is for you is just to look at the Learning Center. So for example, start with that Learning Center. And that's the first course you should probably be taking. Okay, there's something the matter here. Okay, here we go. So the first course I'm suggesting you do is this one here, getting ready with the Learning Center. I've taken this one, and it tells you about the different ways you can organize your learning. If you're as a president, you can organize it by president, the secretary, whatever you like to do, you can go through it and learn, and you get to do the courses. There's also in some of them, there's a test at the end. In some of them, there isn't. You just have to do a course evaluation and you finish the course. But there's a whole bunch of courses there. They're broken down by language as well. So if you don't want to do in English, you can just do language. But obviously, most of us would probably, or all of us here today, would do it in English. So let me go back. So I'm going to go back to my Rotary. So we go back to the other website here. And these are the different. So as I said, John will talk to you about the Rotary Club Central a little bit later, and that's all for me actually. So I finished. If you have any questions for my last two, for my Rotary and District 7070, that's the end of my talk this evening. Any questions?
There's no questions on the chat from either of these two sessions.
Okay, so everybody.
Okay, so we have about 10 minutes. People want to ask a question, we have about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Sorry, Iosif, I
Yes.
apologize, but I can't find that merchandise place that you had said. Which tab was that under?
Which merchandise?
Sponsors.
I'm on
CRS
the
marketing?
the club runner.
Yeah.
And I couldn't figure out where did you say that little icon was to purchase.
It's on the front page. So when you go on the home page,
yes,
on the right side.
Okay. In the club runner?
Yeah, in our club runner. So
Okay.
let me share this with you and I'll show you. So
sorry, I apologize. I'm in there. I'm in the club runner. Okay.
Yeah. Rotary Club. So if you go down here now, it's either here, so it changed because they can rotate.
Okay.
So it was CRS marketing was here, but right now it's Rotary International Official License. So that's where you can. This is where in this area here, where you can move in different places. You can have your sponsors for the website, and if you click on it, for example, Rotary International Official website, it will take you to that website. What do we have? So just to quickly add a bit more to that. If you put this here from what we've done in the past, you will have somewhere between probably about 500 imprints a year or click-throughs on this to about, I've seen it as high as 1,400 from our own website in the past. That depends on the traffic you have to your website and how popular it is and how popular the service that somebody's offering or the product is offering. So this can drive traffic to their website. And obviously this will help them with their Google ranking as well. It doesn't cost, I mean, it costs them money, but you get a tax receipt, which is a marketing receipt.
Thank you.
Okay, so are there other questions, John, in the chat, or any other questions from people who want to take a moment to ask a question either of Ron about the year ahead or Iosif for online tools to support you in your presidency?
Yeah, Iosif, you can also, when you get your sponsors, you can rotate the sponsors, but you can also put it on your bulletin.
Yes.
And you can put the link in your bulletin, and that means that your membership who might not go into your website but get your bulletin get to see your sponsors.
Now,
and that way someone in the club might think this is a good idea, I should sponsor this, right?
Now, Danny, just one thing. If you have 4 and less sponsors, it will not rotate. So it will appear in your bulletin and everywhere else. If you have 10 sponsors, let's say, or more than 4, they will rotate, like what we saw now. It was a different one that showed up. So if
we have more than 4,
yeah, so that's what happens. So I always try to keep it to 3 and 4, and that always made it easy because it's $150, you got $600, and they got the traffic for the year. But then they appear in the bulletin, they appear on every page, it stays the same. So there's more value to the sponsor, I think.
Well, I found that I had to actually put it in the bulletin. The bulletin has a choice of the old bulletin or the new bulletin.
Right.
Unfortunately, the training videos, when you go in to ask a question about the new bulletin, all the training videos are 5 years ago for the old bulletin.
Right.
Right. So I have to go back and forward to Club Runner.
Yeah. If you have any questions, like technical questions, just ask them. They're really great. They really, really are great. Edith? You're muted, Edith.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Now, my question is just about the courses. There are very many courses there. Are they only Rotary courses, or there are any course that you want to join?
The courses there are mostly Rotary. There are some from Toastmasters. I think there's 7 of them, which I'm going to take because I'm not good at public speaking. So those are part of the courses they have there. So Toastmaster does, that will help you with that. Now, there's courses that actually members have placed in there as well. So if you go through it, you'll find some courses that you can put a course up that might help somebody, you know, or help somebody. I think I've seen some courses in there that members put up that can help. So it's aside from the ones that are coming from RI.
Okay, I'm going to interject at the moment, and I'm going to, on our behalf, thank Ron and Iosif for their presentations tonight. But I also want to give you information about next week. It's next Wednesday again, 7 to 8:30, and we're going to have 3 district leaders talk to us about 3 different topics. We have a segment on membership, the Rotary Foundation, and public image. And if Bob Wallace is on the line still, Bob has requested that the president-elects go online and print off their club fundraising analysis and Polio Plus reports, because he's going to refer to those in the presentation next week. And if Bob, if you're still here with us, do you want to speak to that at all? And maybe Bob's not here anymore. Okay, so we're about 5 minutes early, everybody. So thank you very much for joining us tonight. We'll look forward to seeing you next week. In the meantime, stay safe and have a great week. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you,
Good
everyone.
night, everybody.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Beth.
Thank you very much.
Good night, everybody.
Night.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Aye.